happened in the last several years, we're talking about it. We're acknowledging it. We want change.
Pretty sure that each and every one of us at one time in our life experienced what you guys are standing and marching for. I'm pretty sure that each and every one of us has been touched by this.
Today I heard a couple times about, we've been here 10,000 years. There's a reason we've been here 10,000 years. We've adapted. And we're adapting again. Increase safety for Native women. That's our major goal. We need to break the silence. The reality, though, is most of our villages are under-resourced. How many of you believe that? Human capacity is also a resource. We don't want to be having to have the walks that we had last night. But we also value the fact that there's a lot of really, really long-term commitment and resources and smart people living in our communities. And we have to hold each other up.
These are really hard issues, and we don't have all the answers for you today, but the fact that we're talking about these really gets the conversation started. And the fact that you're all here today is really critical to this island and moving forward. As you can see, you have the two themes. We're walking towards a good life, and we are making ourselves healthy. You know, this is really the goal of coming together, is reclaiming the lifestyles that we've had and helping our communities.
I told my legal assistant, go back and check that number. I don't think that's right. Sure enough, boom, 5,000 missing women, and I think only 115 are recorded in the Department of Justice. That's a big disparity. And so we're out in the community and we're talking about MMIW because, as you've heard, it impacts everyone. It impacts the village, the community, the family, and you don't know what to do. We have to use our education in a way that is our collective indigenous wisdom, not just copy and replicate state and federal policies that serve another group of people. They don't serve us, okay?
I think it's our business 100%, because even if it's one person in the family that does it, you know, we're all affected by it. So it's a whole community issue. I think we have to go back to, you know, having the circle peacemaking and stuff, you know, that not just in like a tribal court setting, but I've experienced it growing up, you know, with other people in my family. We have it at our table at dinner, and you know, it's a learning process too, because it's, you know, learning and healing, because you're learning about yourself too. I think that's what has to happen. If we don't get proper law enforcement, you know, it's going to have to come to the people within the community, because, you know, we love each other, you know, and we'll always have each other's back.
Sexual assault and domestic violence are the top of our list for priorities. That's what we want to do. Community awareness is very key, because that means that we can have jurors who will convict. And it's hard to get 12 people to agree about anything. And that's what business I'm in, is trying to get 12 jurors to agree to convict somebody that I think has committed an offense. They need to understand the challenges and how hard it can be for a victim to come forward, because if it's known by a defendant that all they have to do is persuade the victim by threat or by some other means, coercion in some way, that they don't want to press charges, then they get away with it. Then the only people being prosecuted are the non-scary people. We're often asking victims to do something that's incredibly difficult for them. I mean, that's really what's needed, is trust. Familiarity, is how we get to trust. And so discussing these topics and meeting each other, working with each other on these different issues, I think goes a long way towards starting that.
It's very complex. How do I call the cops when I have a warrant for my arrest, but I'm being beaten, and I'm afraid OCS is coming in because they're going to take me to jail on the warrant, and I've got my kids are going to go into OCS custody. What do? I'm going to take the beating. I mean, that's simple, until I can't. But the point I'm trying to make here is that the stories are very complex. There's reasons why we don't call law enforcement. And then, of course, there's a law enforcement can't get into our villages. We don't have law enforcement. Where I come from, it could take days.
Maybe more than half of the communities don't have an active 911 system. Where I'm at in the community of Saxman right now, if you want help, you've got to decide, do you have a fire or an EMS problem or a law enforcement problem? If it's fire or EMS, you're going to call 911. Okay, if it's law enforcement, you're going to call trooper dispatch. Then the trooper dispatch is going to call me. It's kind of a pain right now, but we work with what we got until we can get something better going. We can arrest just like any trooper. We have the same use of force guidelines that the troopers have. We just don't carry the gun.
It was kind of like a stopgap measure because troopers couldn't get out to the village and all these things were happening, so they're like, okay, we'll make this program and this is how it is, and it just keeps evolving and the society is changing and all of it is all changing at the same time, and it just hasn't gotten around to that point.
Like, calling for trooper assistance, you may wait hours to days, right? So if we are in a situation where we have to call for backup, it's pretty well non-existent. We have the benefit of living in our community and becoming a part of our community, and I think any VPSO who does not become a part of their community is really doing themselves and their community an injustice. So it's educating us, and things like this educate us so that we can relate and use everything you know about the people that you met in the community to keep it as low tone as possible.
The fact is that there's not enough law enforcement on the ground. We need response. There's not enough advocacy on the ground. We need help. There's not enough resources to help us build our capacity in our communities because we have the strength and the ability and the willingness. But these national government laws and state government laws that impact how we can build our capacity. So there's a joint relationship that has to be developed. So me as a citizen, wherever, I'm a citizen of a tribe, I'm a citizen of the state, I'm a citizen of this nation, and I have all the same, I should enjoy all of the same benefits of being that citizen.
The collaboration in the information sharing that comes from these types of situations really helps to put together stronger programs and plans. So it's an opportunity to build capacity.
The Tribal Courts, Wish and Catch Can, Hope and Craig. We have the Resource Center in Fairbanks, and there's a lot of help in our community that can support their efforts. They just need to reach out. It came close to home in a village like here. The parents were there and their daughter was a victim. It's different when you know the people. It's different when you know the child. We don't want to be victims anymore. It's time to exercise our sovereign rights.